Where is Soumya? His screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. No. In data mining, sorry, let me start from here. Good morning. In the previous class, we saw that the architecture of the data warehouse is divided into three major categories, three major areas. One is data acquisition, data storage, and information delivery system. Okay, see here now, this is the data acquisition part, then here is the data storage part, and this is what? Information delivery. This management and control, it is controlling all the three. It is controlling all the three and it is independent. It is independent. It is controlling information delivery system. Okay, it is controlling storage, data storage area, and it is controlling data acquisition also. Got it? So now let us look into this architectural framework. Okay, how the architectural framework supporting the flow of data, because we need to flow the data from one area to, from sources to end users. Okay, from the source to data stacking, from there to data storage, from there to end users. Okay, how exactly data will going to flow? See, this is the architecture framework for supporting the flow of data. It is the architecture framework for supporting the flow of data at various levels. One at the data source level, and second is at the data warehouse repository where you are storing the data, and how the data will flow at the end users. See here now, let me take. Yeah, this is at the source level. Here from source level, it is data is flowing into this direction for a data tagging. Okay, the various functions will be carried out here. Then after carrying out, okay, the some data will be get into this where a data warehouse, and some part of the data will be carried out to data marts, and this is how the data will flow from source to, what is that? Data repository. From data repository, okay, so data will go to this various information systems, MDDB, OLAP, report or query. These are various data mining. Okay, these are the various parts. Okay, so from here, from the data repository, data will flow from this repository to information delivery system. See now, this is the, once we look at this data at the data stores, at the what is that, source level, how the data will be flowing. Here the internal and external data sources from the source data. Okay, these are the source datas where yeah, these are the various sources of data. Got it? Like internal and external components. Source data governs the execution of the data for preparation and storage in the data warehouse. So here the data will go into the flow of data from the external or internal data into for the preparation purpose. See here now, as I told, here some function will be carried out, here some function will be carried out, functions will be carried out. What are those? Extraction, preparation in the sense of cleaning the data, okay, transforming the data, and preparation for the loading. So load that cleaned data, transform data into data warehouse. Okay, the data stacking architecture component governs these, controls these transformation, cleaning, and integration of data. All these things will be carried out at this stage. Got it? And in the data warehouse repository, here in the data warehouse repository, at this stage, what happens? The data storage architectural component includes loading the data from the staging area. See here now, the load, it is now preparation is done for the loading, but actual loading has to be taken place. Now we need to load all the things, the cleaning, transforming, and preparation for the loading is done, but it is not actually loaded. Now this data needs to be loaded into repository. Load into repository. Got it? Loading of the data from the staging area and also storing it the data label. Power has gone. Okay. Here data marts will be there, metadata will be there. So related information, the metadata architectural component is also storage mechanism, contains data about the data, every point of flow of data from the beginning to end. Means here it starts from the beginning, at the end whatever you transform the data, means transfer movement of data, okay, from whether it is from staging area to data warehouse or data warehouse to data information delivery system, whatever it is taking. So metadata will keep tracking of those things. It keeps tracks of all those things. Okay, like this the data will be carried out. At this stage the data are monitored by metadata, and the data is loaded into data warehouse and data marts. Got it? Now at the end user, what happens? The information delivery architectural component, this, where is that? This information delivery architectural component, which includes OLAP, query generating, report generating, data mining, all those things. Got it? So it includes dependent data marts, special multi-dimensional databases in the sense of, what is that? Cubes, data cubes. Okay, so these will be there. Full range of query and reporting facilities will be there. So what kind of report you need, that kind of information or report can be generated. You can query in depth and you can extract the minute values, and you can combine so much of tables and extract the new information, new knowledge. All these things can be carried out from this information delivery system. These are the tools, various tools for this information system. OLAP is a tool. Okay, query reporting or report generating is a tool, and data mining is also one of the tool. Okay, this is how architectural framework supports for the flow of data. This architectural framework for the data warehouse is supports for the flow of data at various levels. One at the data source level, in the data warehouse repository level, and at the end user level. Is it understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now,
Yes, sir.
now second architecture is the management and control component. It's an architecture for management and control. As we have seen here, see, this is controlling management and control system. This is controlling all the three areas: data acquisition, data storage, and information delivery system. Got it? So here this management and control, it is having control over the managing the source data sources. It is managing the data stacking areas, means acquisition part. Then it controls metadata, data storage, like data warehouse, then information delivery system also. This architectural component is a overall module which is managing and controlling the entire data warehouse environment. This is completely controlling the data warehouse environment. It is an umbrella component working at various levels and converting all the operations. This component has two major functions. First, to constantly monitoring all the ongoing operations. What it will do? It is monitoring all the ongoing operations. What operation is going on at this source data, which operation is going at this data stacking, what operation is going in this data warehouse or in data mart, okay, or in metadata or in any of the information delivery system. It is first function is to monitor all the ongoing, currently going information, functions. Got it? And the next operation, the next step in the recover and problems when, okay, the management component relates and manages all the data warehouse operations. So whenever it is failed to do any of the things, so it will manage all those things and all those operations, and these are the two major things it is carried out. Got it? At the outset, your data warehouse, you have the operations relating to data acquisition. So acquisition means extracting the data from the sources. Got it? So incremental loads, moving the data from the data into the data stacking area and performing the transforming. Got it? So here what happens, that where is this? From these sources the data will be extraction. Acquisition means extraction takes place, and transformation takes place. Once it is transformed, in the sense of making it a common common format, and preparation for the loading. In that preparation, cleaning is also done. So these are all the things is carried out. These operations will be monitored by the management. If anything is, while extracting the data from the sources, if some data is failed to extract, so that will be managed by this, and again the same thing will be carried out and it is extracted. Got it? So like this it is it is monitoring all the things. So is it clear now? So this is having the control of all the departments, all the three major areas. The major area of data acquisition, data repository, and information delivery system. Now, so this is all about the managing and control of modules. Now, let us look into technical architecture of the data warehouse. Technical architecture of the data warehouse. Here we have seen this is also one of the architecture, same architecture. This is also the same architecture, and this is also the architecture of the data warehouse. Now, here in this technical architecture, we look into separate. We have a three areas: data acquisition, data storage, and one more is information system, information delivery. These three areas will be having the three different technical architectures. We look into what is the technical architecture of the data acquisition. Technical architecture of the data acquisition. What it? We have already seen various components of the data warehouse architecture in the different ways. What it? We grouped the components into the three major areas. One is data acquisition, another one is data storage. See here now, let me come to that. Entire architecture is grouped into three areas, segregated into three areas, and each area what are the components which will come under data acquisition. These are all the sources: external sources, production sources, internal storage, and archived data. All these along with the data staging. These comes under data acquisition. These are all together, we'll call it as a data acquisition. Then which are all the parts, which are all the components, which are all the modules comes under this data storage. One is metadata, data warehouse, then data marts, all these things, metadata, data warehouse or database management system, whatever, the storing part, okay, and data marts. These are comes under the data storage area. This is another group, and last group is the information delivery system. So in this information delivery, we are having various tools and this MDDB. Got it? So these things like query reporting, OLAP, data mining tool, various tools comes under this information delivery system. All these components grouped together. All these components grouped together to form this information delivery system. So this entire architecture is divided into three parts, and each part is having group of components. Each area is having group of components. Got it? So data acquisition area will be having these things along with the data sources and data stacking. The data storage area is having grouped into, so these metadata, data warehouse, data marts, all these are grouped into, we'll call this area as data storage area. And information delivery, there we are having various tools for extraction. See here now, in this data acquisition, what are all the components are there? We group the components into three major areas. We have seen now. Got it? We have examined the architecture and highlighted the distinguished characteristics of the data warehouse architecture comparisons with any of the operational systems. Got it? See here now, the data sources. We have various data sources. The data come from the external sources, the data come from the production sources, internal sources, archived data, means hidden data. All these are the sources of the data. From these we need to deliver this, extract the data. Data needs to be extracted here. See here now, from these sources we need to extract the data. These are the sources. We need to extract those data. So here the file formats are different. The file formats for this are different. Okay, the file formats in this and file formats in this, all the various sources are having different file formats. Now we need to extract those data and make a flat files. Flat files which are of the common platform format. Got it? And this extracted data is comes into this data stacking area. This comes into extracted and stored into this data stacking. Got it? Here in this data stacking, what we will going to do will be, what it will be there? It will be having relational DB. Relational DB means the relational database. Relational database means the information or data are stored in the form of tables. What was that flat files? The various sources are brought into a table format. Okay, all those tables will be stored in this data stacking, and we need to transformation. Data needs to be transformation. Okay, if data format, date format for this and date format for this various, this is stored in the YY, MM and DD in this format. If it is stored the same date in the form of DD, YY, MM, okay, like this with the different data formats, so those things needs to be transformed into single format here. Okay, all the things will be carried out say here only in the data transformation, in the data stacking. Once we do all these things here, and we need to prepare it for the loading, so this is the architecture. This is the architecture of the data acquisition. Now let us look into various operations and functions. Various operations and functions of this. See here now. In this data acquisition, which are the list of functions and services which are carried out at this level. Here we at the data acquisition, we are doing three things. Which are those? First one is data extraction, second one is data transformation, and third one is data stacking. Okay, third one is data stacking. Then we are having data storage. See here now, all of you look at this. Now this technical architecture is divided into three major areas. This technical architecture is divided into three major areas. Which are those areas? First area, any one of you? Which is the first area?
Data acquisition, sir.
Data acquisition, good. Which is the second area?
Data
Data
storage.
transformation.
Data storage. Third one?
Data transformation, sir.
Data? No. Third area. See here now.
Data staging, sir.
See, all of you look into this. These three areas, let me give the color for this.
Information delivery.
Information delivery, exactly. See here now. This is the area, first area. This is the first area. We divide this complete data warehouse architecture into three areas. First one is data acquisition. For this is the scope up to this much. These are all the components comes under this. These are nothing but comes under data acquisition. Got it? In data acquisition, what are the various operations we carried out? Data extraction, data transformation, and data stacking. These are the three things we carried out at this data acquisition. All of you look into this. Okay, see, I have divided complete data warehouse architecture into three major areas. one is data acquisition. In this data acquisition, we do data extraction, we do data transformation, and we do data stacking. These are the three things we carried out in the data acquisition. Second part is, let me take a different color for this. Where is this? I'll take green color for this. See here now, this is the area. This is the area. This area is known as a data storage. Here actually we are storing the data. What type of data? It is a cleaned data. It is transformed data. Okay. It is ready for use. Okay. This area is called as data storage area. This area is called as data storage area. Got it? Which are the components here? Metadata will be there, data warehouse will be there, then data marts will be there. These are under data storage. And next we are having one more, a blue color. That area is called as information delivery. This area is called as information delivery area. Here various tools which are used to extract the information from the data warehouse. This area is called as information delivery area. This area is called as information delivery area. Which are the components here? OLAP, report or query generating tools, data mining tools, and others. Okay, so these are the three major areas. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
कंप्लीट आर्किटेक्चर को 3 एरिया में डिवाइड किया है. फर्स्ट एरिया को हम डेटा एक्विजिशन बोलते हैं. ओके, इस डेटा एक्विजिशन में 3 थिंग्स कैरिड आउट होता है. वो है फर्स्ट डेटा एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ द डेटा फ्रॉम द सोर्सेस, एंड सेकेंड वी ट्रांसफॉर्म द डेटा, एंड थर्ड डेटा स्टैगिंग. दीज आर द ये तीनों किधर होता है? डेटा एक्विजिशन में होता है. गॉट इट? सो नाउ we'll going to see the architecture of this data acquisition. Once we complete the data acquisition architecture, then we'll go to data storage architecture. After completing the data storage architecture and their services, then we'll move to information delivery area. Okay, its architecture and services. Is it clear now? Lena and Snail.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, where we are? Yeah, here. So, technical architecture is divided into 3: data acquisition, data storage, and one more is information. This data acquisition, this is the architecture. Now, in this architecture, we are having, see here now, 3 things. These are the data sources. Okay, where the actual, these are the operational databases. Okay, they are, each of them are having different data formats. Now we need to extract the data from these into data stacking areas. This is where we need to data extract from all these sources. Okay, this is the first thing. Then once we extract the data, that data needs to be transformed. Means various things will be, services will be provided here. That we will going to see it later. And next one is data stacking. See here now, 3 things needs to be carried out here. First one is data extraction from the source to this data stacking area. Then second one is data transformation and data stacking. So we're going to see what are the services and functions which are carried out in the data extraction, and what are the services and functions carried out at the data transformation, and what are the services and function carried out at this data stacking. Okay, we're going to see at this. Now this is entire architecture is data acquisition architecture, technical architecture. Got it? If you remember the complete architecture, so you can divide it three different architectures. Got it? Now, in the data acquisition, we'll see what are the functions and services provided by the data extraction. So let me read out. Okay. So instead of this thing, select data sources and determine these types filters to be applied to individual sources. See here now. Select the data source. We are having different data sources here: external source, production source, internal source, and archived source. So we need to select the data sources, and there we need to determine which type of this type of the data, and we need to apply the filters for individual sources. We need to only what data I need to extract. I'm not going to collect all the data from that particular source. Only a particular data will be taken. Only needed data will be taken from that operational database. Not all the things. Got it? So filter is applied for selecting a required data. The second function is generate automatic extract files from the operational system using replication and other techniques. Means automatic extraction. Every time you need not to pick the data. So you need to apply some automation. In that it will going to that automation will going to extract the data, extract the files, okay, from the operational systems. Okay, those operational systems, from there we going to automatically, it has to, if that data comes into that operational database, so it has to be extracted. Got it? So this is what automatically it can be done. Create the internal. So now create intermediary files to store selected data to be merged later. See here now. Now I have extracted some part of the data, and some part of the data will be extracted later. So in case such thing happens, so those data can be merged later. That function is also provided here in the data extraction. Got it? Now if the file is big, so assume that only some part of the data is transformed, extracted, and later I am going to extract that remaining part of the remaining part of the file. So later it has to be merged because we want to make it as a single file. Got it? Transport extracted files from the multiple platforms. Means there are various platforms will be there. Okay, those various platforms are, with the help of those, it should not be depending on a single platform. Okay, it can be carried out in multiple platforms. It can be extracted, file can be extracted from the multiple platforms. Now provide automated job control services. So it provides the automated job control services for creating the extract files. Means, as I told, there are some automations. Actually, sorry for interruption. Actually, one of my friend who is working in, he was working in HCL. Now he moved to other company. He is working in software testing. He is working in software testing. Probably he is getting the salary more than what is that, a lakh per month. Okay, what is his job? His job is on automation testing. His job is on automation testing. So why I'm telling automation testing? So automated means you need not to have much thing to do. Just you guide the program, you train the program or your software. Okay, so your software will carry out the same thing. Whenever that happens, it will carry out the, you need not to instruct it, you need not to tell that you carried out this. No, it will going to carry it out. So he is working in one of the product based company. Okay, so actually I requested him to talk you people for what are the job opportunities in testing. Okay, automation testing and other types of selenium tools, etc. Okay, so he's working in Bangalore. Now he came to Belgium. Okay, so actually he's busy with because his company, he has changed the company and he is very busy, and there is more work there in that company. So he agreed to talk with you people little bit later. Okay, so even he is also agreed, as I told in the 15 days back regarding the cloud computing workshop. Even that madam is also a bit busy now. Okay, she is also ready to take the cloud computing workshop on cloud computing. We're going to make it happen soon. Got it? So I simultaneously I talk to those people. Got it? So this is, so automation is very important. Reformat input from the outside sources. So if any outside sources are there, before you extracting those data, okay, you need to reformat it. You need to reformat it and then you extract the information. Then generate common application code. Generate common application code. Just a minute. Okay. Now, generate common application code for data extraction means you have to write this common application code. You have to write the program. Okay, you have to write it for extraction of the data. You need not to. So you go and select the data. No, it is not possible because the data will be very huge. Your program has to do that. Okay, for that you have to write the program, and that program will going to extract the data from the various sources. Then here at the data extraction, which resolve the consistencies from the common data elements from the multiple sources. See here now, database means we need to avoid the same data should not be there multiple times. I don't want to store the same information or same data n number of times, because simply it is a waste of my space. So this here at this level, that data needs to be removed. So inconsistencies needs to be resolved at this stage. These are the various data extractions. Okay, functions or services provided provided at this data extraction stage. Is it clear? Is it clear now? Is it clear? Now, just now we
Yes, sir.
discussed only about this, in this, only about this data extraction. What are the things carried out? What are the functions and services carried out at the data stacking areas? Is it clear now? Understood? Okay. Now, next one is data transformation. Now we're going to see this part. Data transformation. What are the functions and services which are carried out at this data transformation? Now, as I keep on telling you, here the data is cleaned. At this stage, clean the data, remove the duplicate values and merge or purge. Means, as I told, in the data extraction, entire file is divided into two parts because the file is very big. So we extracted the first part and we extracted the second part later. Got it? Here in this data transformation, this will provide the service of merging those two files. Got it? And denormalize extracted data structures as required by the dimensional model of the data warehouse. Means, denormalize means, we told that in the various data sources we are having the data, different data structures or data types, those data types, because here in the sometimes you data type date format, its data type can be what is that, date. Okay, date is also one of the data type here. Okay, and same date can be entered with the help of varchar, because today's date is what? Today's date is 3rd. Okay, 03 hyphen then 06 then 2021. So it can be entered with the help of varchar. Got it? But so we need to denormalize the extracted data types, all those things, data structures. So later it can be bring into common platform. So that time those different data formats can be transformed into single data format. Convert the data types, as I told, convert the data types. So one data type is converted into other data types, which can helps to provide the information. So which can support the data warehouse, or which can useful for a data delivery system at the time of data delivery. Okay, so convert those various data types. Calculate and derive attribute values. Here the attribute values are derived and calculated. Attribute values are derived and calculated. Those we have seen derived values in the yesterday's DBMS class. We have seen derived attribute means which is derived from the age is derived from the date of birth. Got it? Age is derived from the date of birth. So like this you can calculate and derive the attribute values which are helpful in the to bring a information or extract the knowledge. Got it? So check for the referential integrity. So referential integrity means if multiple tables are integrated with the foreign keys, if they are integrated. Okay, so check for those integrity constraints, because if you are having a department table here, in the department table, so department 1, okay, account section. Here in the employee table you are having the different fields. Okay, employee name, in which department he is working, employee ID, date of joining, etc. will be there. There you have entered department 1. Okay, department 1 is account section. So these two tables are reference. Okay, it is first table, a employee table is referring a department table for the department number. So you cannot delete that department number or department, because that department is referred in this employee table. So before doing such kind of things, you need to check for the referential integrity. Aggregate data as needed. Okay, aggregate data means you can combine, you can see how many employees are there. This is the aggregate function. Okay, how many employees who are working from last 10 years, this is also aggregate function. Total number of employees, average number of salary, all this. So various aggregate functions, these aggregate functions we will going to study it in the DBMS in detail about this. Got it? And resolving the missing values at the data transformation. If any values are missed out, so we need to resolve them. These are resolved. Got it? And consolidated and integrated data. We need to bring consolidate and integrate data. Means consolidated means, so entire your results. If I first subject you have scored 80, second subject you have scored 90, like this, all the things. What is the consolidated result? So consolidated result is this. You have a 95 percentage. Like this, you can integrate the data. You can integrate means you can combine wherever it is required. You can consolidate. You can bring the things. So these are the various data transformation functions and the data acquisition architectures. Got it? And we have one more, data stacking. It is a last part of this data stacking. Here it is. Data stacking. This is the last part of this data acquisition architecture. Let me finish it in 2 minutes. Which provides the backup and recovery for the data stacking area repositories. Means from here we need to transform the information, or we need to load the information into data storage areas. Okay, so if while storing from the data stacking area into a storage device, if transformation or loading is failed, if the loading is failed, means what happens? So again it is providing the backup. It is having the backup. Once that loading is failed, so it will provide a same backup copy, and it will recover, or it will provide the backup and again it will go to reload it. Got it? So next is store and merge the files. Here the data which are come to this are stored. Sort. Okay, sort means it has to arrange in a required manner. Okay, arranged in a required manner. Okay, then this merging is also done at this place. Create a files input as an input to make changes. Dimensional tables means if I want to 2-dimensional tables is converted into 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, like this, or data cubes. Okay, that can be done at this data stacking areas. Next, if a data stacking storage is relational database, means in the form of tables, create and populate the database. Means it can create the required student database, employee database, like this. It can create the databases and it can populate. You can make it use. It can provide it for the usage purpose. If it is a relational database, it it saves audit trails to release each data item in the data warehouse into input data. Means it preserves some information, audit information. Audit information means how much data is received from the data sources and how much data is transformed to data storage areas. Such kind of audit will be carried out here. So preserve those values. and resolve and create primary and foreign keys. See here now. So it can at this area, stacking area, primary keys and foreign keys are created while loading for the tables. You know already what are primary keys and foreign keys. So those things are carried out these data stacking areas. Consolidate data sets and create files, flat files that for loading through DBMS utilities. With the help of DBMS utilities, okay, you can consolidated data can be transformed. Okay, my battery is about to die. Okay, let me finish it off in 2 minutes. Okay, another minute. Last is, if a staging area storage is relational database, extract load files. Means if it is, what is that, relational database table format, and that can be extracted. So see here now, in the where, see here now, architectural framework is divided into three. One is architectural, this, now architecture, this is divided into three parts. One is architectural support for, acquisition. Second one is for, what is that, data storage. Then we are having the information delivery. In the data storage, okay, data acquisition, we have data extraction, data transformation, and data stacking. All these services and functions we studied today. Tomorrow we are going to deal with this, what is that, data storage. This data storage architecture we are going to study in detail. Second, after that we are going to discuss about data information delivery, its functionality.